It is exactly 12:41 a.m. at 12:41 p.m. This is the mid-morning talk with me, Julie Alli. Welcome back. We're into our final interview for the morning. A very serious matter indeed, and sad as well. We are going to be looking at a support group for widows, and inshallah, the plan is to create a support group for divorcees sometime in the near future. To talk to us about this is our guest. She is with the Islamic Helpline. Her name is Anisah. She's online to talk to us regarding this issue. Anisah, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. Lovely to have you on the show. Anisah Jeena, let me just add, that is her surname. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam, Julie. It's Jazakallah for having me onto your show.
Okay, you with the Islamic Helpline, and I do understand you guys are working on starting up a support group for divorced ladies, but currently you are running a counseling service for widows. Tell us about it, and is there a very huge need for such a service?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. We've got the widow support group running. There's one running in Indonesia at the Islamic Helpline. And I am running the widow support group in my hometown of Azadville.
Okay.
And yes, there was a very, very great need to have a support group for the widows, which is a safe place for them.
Absolutely. I'm kind of wondering, and we do know that when they come there, all of their issues are treated with the strictest of confidentiality. So we will not breach, we won't breach that ruling. But in general, what type of issues do they bring to the table? And how are you able to help them navigate through that? Is it, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, is it that once your husband passes away, the in-laws or other people kind of just cut ties with you, you become invisible, you don't matter any longer, you're not important enough? Are those the type of issues you're seeing?
Well, at the moment, I've not seen those type of issues. What I have been seeing is just a lot of heartbreak and a lot of loneliness. The widows that I have in my support group, Alhamdulillah, they've got the family support. So I haven't encountered anybody as yet who has said that, you know what, I've just been left out in the cold.
Okay.
But what I am dealing with is that a lot of the ladies, a lot of my sisters would say that, they're lonely at night. In the day, it's fine. They can manage. They've got things to do. But at night, it gets very, very lonely. And weekends, what do they do over the weekends? Yes, they've got their children. However, sometimes they feel like we want our partner. We want to sit with somebody that we can, be on the same line. So it gets very challenging for them.
Okay, and I know that mothers of today, myself included, even though we have our children, we're always, it's the new age now, and we're always very careful about not imposing or taking out too much time out of our children's lives. Because I often say to my children when they phone and they want to do stuff for me, or they want to know if I need anything, I kind of say to them, and I'm wondering if it's a good thing or not, are we too independent? I say to them, don't worry, your dad and I are okay. There's plenty of food in the house. We're not short of money. We're okay. You concentrate on your wife and your children because you guys have a very hectic working life. And I'm kind of wondering if that's not going to come back and bite me at some stage in my life.
There's a possibility that it can. What I normally tell my ladies on my support group is that keep your boundary. So there are days when you would accept the invitation, say, oh, yes, it's fine. I do need this and I require this. I need to go to the doctors. I need to go for grocery shopping. And there are other days where you would say, Jazakallah for the offer, but today I'm okay. So you're leaving it open. It's not closed off completely. You're giving them their space and you are allowing yourself to take from them when you do need to take from them.
Absolutely. Anissa, as you were talking and talking about the loneliness, and the reason why I brought up those issues around, because I personally have spoken with some divorcees and widows who have said that my life has changed, my social circle. I don't have a social circle any longer. I don't know, is it because I'm a widow now and people in the family think that their husbands might hit on me? um, that's a very real fear, or that's something that goes through the widow or the divorcee's mind. And they say that we've been cut off completely because we can't understand why. Do we not matter any longer? Someone else said this to me. She said when she received, after her iddat was over, and she received her first invitation to attend a wedding. She says her heart skipped a beat because when she looked at the envelope and the invitation, it only said we request the pleasure of Mrs. So and so. And she said, the word Mr. missing from the invitation made her heart skip a beat. And these are realities that widows and divorcees have to live with, isn't it?
Yes, it's a big reality, and I think only when you in that shoe would you ever realize it. The question that you had asked is that their lives change. I think it's more the fear to the ladies that have the spouses. It's actually not the widows and the divorcees that have this fear. It's the opposite party that has the fear, and when they react in a certain way, that is when the widows and the divorced ladies pull back, which is so
Right.
sad because
Mm,
it doesn't
mm.
need to be like that. We need to show kindness. We need to show compassion. We need to show love to those that have lost their spouses, whether it being in a divorce or whether it being becoming a widow. You need to be their support. And that is why I think spiritually as well, if you put deen in front, if you put parda in front, you won't have to worry about that because the lady is going to be the one that's going to be communicating. The ladies are going to be communicating. You don't need to have a man figure in front.
Absolutely. Okay. What do you tell the sisters when they talk about their loneliness? Because that's something that is very difficult to address. You say that they do have children, they don't want to impose on the children. How do you kind of get around that? Because loneliness is very real for the people who experience it. And it can become very, very sad and push them into depression.
100%. So what I would do in my support group is that first of all, I put it out to the ladies. I ask them that when you're feeling lonely, what do you do? So they actually give me the feedback. So somebody would say they would do talim. Somebody would say they would do knitting. Somebody would say they would maybe just go back and look at their own memories and feel what they're feeling, and then realizing that you know what, this is reality. So I suggest to them that maybe they can have a one night, like a coffee night, where they all sit together and they spend time with each other, have a pamper evening. Those are the things that I have told my ladies to do. Also, I said to them that there's something that they've always wanted to do. You know, when you have your spouse, it's always about your spouse. It's never about you. So
Mm.
I've told the ladies that now you have to look at it a bit differently, that even though Allah Ta'ala has taken away your spouse, but He's given you some time for yourself. So maybe go back to something that you always wanted to do in your life and you never got to do, and start doing that. So that could be going back to studying, or doing some kind of hobbies that you would always love to do and you never had that opportunity to do.
So, Anissa, I get a sense that when you say you encourage the ladies to have a pamper evening or a coffee evening or a coffee afternoon or whatever that might be, that the ladies that attend the support group with you have in fact become friends, perhaps, or maybe even supportive to each other?
Yes, they've become a big family.
Oh,
And one of my
alhamdulillah.
ladies have one of my ladies actually came and said to me that it would be so nice if we could get a plot and build little homes where we all can move in, because now they all are living in their huge homes. It's just they alone. And they said if we can get a plot and put up a few houses and all of us move in there, then on a Saturday and on a Sunday and the week when they want to go shopping, they can pull out one car and three or four ladies get into one car and go and do the necessary shopping and come back. So they become a family and they are there for each other.
Absolutely. It sounds like a very noble gesture, but it's a huge, huge undertaking. What are the other suggestions that you give them, and how do the ladies themselves? I know what you said sounds great. That you kind of ask them, you throw it back at them, and ask them what they can do to change their situations. What are the other suggestions they come up with?
You mean the ladies that come up with the suggestions?
When they say that they're lonely and they feel that their lives are very, very empty, um, you kind of throw it back at them and ask them, what do you've told them, take up the hobbies that you neglected in the past, things that you've wanted to do in the past. You can start filling your life doing those things, but what else can you do to support them?
Okay, so the other thing that I've advised, I've shared with them is that to get closer to their creator. If
Alhamdulillah.
they, I say to them, we're living in Azadville. There's a lot of programs that we have an opportunity to go to. And the one that's so important is the one that we have on a Monday morning of Iman and Mudhakira. I say to them, if you bring in La ilaha illallah into your life, you would go so much more further. And building that relationship with your Allah is the only one that's going to give you that peace and that contentment to remove that sadness that you're feeling. Because if you have Allah, you're not going to have sadness. You're not going to have you'll have it, but having Allah in your life, having been reciting La ilaha illallah all the time, that's going to overpower the sadness and remove it completely.
Alhamdulillah. There are also women, you may have experienced it, um, that have probably come to you and have spoken about the overwhelming guilt that they feel for things that, they think about perhaps the disagreements they might have had with their spouse, or perhaps over time when the spouse made requests for the wife to do certain things for him or his family, and she was never willing to do that. So all of that starts playing on your mind, and you become very, very guilty. You feel very, very guilty. How do you talk them through those feelings of guilt?
So I say to them that, look, that's the reality. We have all types of different challenges that we face in our marriage. But Allah is with you and Allah knows what you've been through. If you're going to bash yourself up sitting and saying that I should have done it in this way and I should have done it in that way, how is it serving you at the moment? It's either going to make you very depressed, or you can look at it and say, these are the mistakes that I've made. I need to I need to forgive myself for making those mistakes because I didn't know any better. And again, if you bring Allah in the picture to know that everything that you've been through in life is what He's ordained for you, and you forgive yourself, you'll be able to move forward. And keep on asking yourself, by me sitting and regretting or looking into something that I cannot change, how's it helping me?
And we are coming to wrap up time, but this is an important question, and that has to deal with sadness. Different people experience loss and grief in different ways. Some people are better capacitated to deal with it, others not. You find somebody that just breaks down completely, and even after a couple of years of the loss of their husband, they are still very, very sad, possibly in a depression, but don't realize that they are deeply depressed. What sort of help is afforded to people like that?
Well, one of the facilities that we have at the Islamic Helpline is that we have counseling, one-on-one counseling.
Mm.
So they could come in and make an appointment, and then do a 6-week counseling sessions with a counselor that will take them through everything that they are going through at that moment.
So they go through all the stages of grief and offer the widow as much support as they possibly can.
That's correct.
Okay. People listening to us this morning, whether they are widows or divorcees and would like to become a part of this group, what's the process to get in touch with you and become a part of the group? And for example, if somebody is a divorcee and has heard us talking about this, but know that this is a widow support group, but feels that their loss is as deep as a widow's loss, would you welcome them to the group?
Most definitely, definitely, because our group is for all widows, and inshallah, we are looking to start a divorce support group. So that will be a group that's going to be completely different.
Okay.
So anybody can join our group, and it's not religiously, only for Muslims. It's open to every religion person. So you're welcome.
Okay. How do they get in touch with you? Where do they
So
get in touch with you?
they can call the Islamic Helpline. Can I share the number?
Please.
It's 011
011
852
852
1930.
1930. But that's a
Yes.
Lenasia number, am I right?
Yes, that's the Lenasia number. I'm at the Lenasia one.
Oh, okay. So it's 011 852 1930. And how frequently do you run these groups? Is it once a week? And how long,
It's it's once a month. The one that's here at the Islamic Helpline in Lenasia is once a month, and the one that I run in Azadville, it's every 6 weeks. That's in Azadville.
Okay. Do you not think it should be happening more often? Maybe once a week or once every fortnight?
No, because the ladies need that time when they come in for when we have our group session and whatever gets discussed, then they go back home and then they use the skills that they've learned to see how they can pull through for a month. In the
Oh,
event of
okay.
in the event of them needing, they can't wait for a month. They're welcome to phone, and then if they have to call me, I would take their call and I would do a session with them one on one.
Oh, wow. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Perfectly good sense. Thank you indeed. We have come to the end of the show. Anisah Jeena, thank you indeed. Are you a counselor or a social worker?
I'm a counselor at the Islamic Helpline.
Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your efforts. May He reward you
Amen.
richly for touching lives in such a special and positive way. May you enjoy the rest of Ramadan and continue doing the good work you do. Thank you for being with us on the show this morning.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair.
That was Anisah Jeena, counselor with Islamic Helpline, talking to us about the widow support group running in Indonesia and in Azadville. And that brings us to the end of the show today. It is exactly 1 o'clock. Thank you indeed for your company. Don't forget you can join me once again next week, Wednesday and Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning on the mid-morning show with me, Julie Alli. A big thank you to our producer and controller, and that's you, Shahja Zubair and Mohammed Abrar. Till the next time, as I've said, Assalamu alaikum and Khudafiz from me, Julie Alli.